All right. I have my flatheads, so I'm just gonna try to pry this off. I don't have to be like, I just, you could be rough with it because it's like a plastic. Got it. Then this just pops off. This just pops off. You got another cap. And then you'll be left with basically this. So now I just gotta. You don't have to be like delicate with this one because you're just like it's just a piece of plastic and it's very rubbery. It's super rubbery. So if you need to replace these, you need to replace these. I decided not to because they're dirty, but I mean they're intact in terms of shape. So they're a little worn down, but that's not a replacement today. So I got my slightly peed on, I guess, olive oil thing, and I'm just gonna wipe it. And then this is good because it'll collect dust. I'll collect any dust on it. And I wax my sides, so I wax the sides of my skateboard. And then also I started waxing this part because it's like getting groove marks in it, so the wax kind of like gets into the groove marks, preserves the board a little bit. Plus the oil will help it become a little bit more resistant to water and weather damage. This is something that I learned playing the cello because I had to repair my own cello. My teacher taught me. So just rub the metal, get some of that dust or gook off. And I'll show you what the rag looks like. And then I want to clean these. Just so this is like, see, just you see that this is starting to get dirty. You don't. What you could just do is move to the other side. That's why I kind of put it like this. And just try to wipe off that gunk. It's not like you're not like this isn't touching your face or anything. You know, like I'm not gonna put this in my mouth, so you don't have to worry about it being like the most perfectly clean thing, but the dust will erode. And then the reason why I don't oil the entire napkin is because if you feel like you got too much oil in whatever you're doing, switch to a non-oil one. Obviously you're not gonna not have oil there, but it's just gonna be a little bit more absorption-y, I guess is the best way to. Yeah, it's just gonna absorb the oil a little better. So as you can see, this is a little bit cleaner. Like I said, like it doesn't have to be perfectly, but it is better. And just so you can see before and then. It's important that you clean these because dirt will get into this, and once dirt is in this, it will mess up your wheels, bro. Like you will not be skating. You'll be trying to get through this dirt. And I know people don't think that dirt is bad, like in terms of like metal, but like it will, like, if it's supposed to spin and there's dirt in it, do you think it's gonna spin? So we're almost done. Bam. See, now they're a little bit, they're like more white than they were before. I could get I kind of have like that perfectionist streak right now. I just want to get this super clean because I don't want to clean this later. I'm not trying to clean this for another month, you know? So now at this point, your board is going to be greasy. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to hold. And you're going to wonder, why would I do this? It's going to mess up my board. It's not going to mess up your board. Wood is an organic material. That's something that people need to remember. As an organic material, it reacts differently to certain other organic materials than, let's say, metal would. I'm using an organic material, olive oil. This wood, even through the paint to a certain degree, will absorb the oil. Like, it's going to, like, wood absorbs even after it's cut from its roots. It absorbs things because of how it is structured cellularly. It has basically the I think it's the capillaries. They just the physics of the capillaries make it so that it absorbs water. It's hard for me to explain without like a textbook and in the middle of a skate thing, so I'm not. Get your cap on. This is the bigger one is the bottom cap. So like that. Then you put on your plastic. Then you put on your cap, your smaller cap, and then your nuts. This thing actually you don't want to hand tighten because these things can strip. These things actually like you want to replace if they get bad because they kind of hold your entire truck together. So I'm just gonna hand tighten this. You can see it's very loose, but that's okay. This is what we want. This is a good thing. We can tighten it later. So just this over. So the paint, this has a paint on it, so like the wood isn't going to necessarily absorb all of this. Mostly just the edges will absorb the oil. But if you have like a board that's not stained, or because some people have boards that aren't stained, I've seen them, or painted, like you definitely want to put like rub your board with oil to protect it. If you know it's gonna rain or it's been wet outside for a little bit and you're gonna go outside and skate anyway, hey, people do that. I do that. It's not always the best for your board, but putting oil on it, oil is a hydrophilic molecule, which means that, no, it's a hydrophobic molecule, my bad. Hydrophilic molecules would be, it would be water. So hydrophilic means that it absorbs water, it mixes with water. Hydrophobic means it repels water, it does not mix with water. If you put oil and water in the same thing, the oil and the water will have two different layers. The oil will rise to the top, and that is the proof that oil is hydrophobic. So we just want to tighten this. All right. So now we have a basic level of tightness. This is actually super loose, which is not that bad. This is actually good. This means that we'll have more control over how loose or tight we want it. I wouldn't want I wouldn't want this loose specifically, but the control is good. And then we're just gonna move on to wheels. So these wheels I don't want anymore. Basically, I'm just gonna go in with my truck, do this. These bearings were cleaned yesterday, like 2 days ago. So actually, I might clean them again anyway. But they're not super dirty, so I'm not gonna put a lot of stock into making sure they're clean because I just cleaned them like 2 days ago. Getting them off. And I'm not gonna throw out these wheels. These wheels are actually really good still. These Spitfire, these ones that I'm taking off are Spitfire wheels. They're really good, but they're good if you're like at a new skate park or a very flat, like when I say flat, I don't mean like not any things to do tricks on. I mean like literally smooth pavement. I'm not going to be skating there, so preparing for my environment. So I just go in like this one. I'm just gonna go in, rub it a little bit, call it a day, just to get whatever dirt is on it off. I said I was gonna wear gloves. I couldn't find gloves that fit me, and looking at this rag, you could see now why I said I was gonna wear gloves. Luckily, this is like dirt and oil. It's not anything like super infectious, so it's not like, you know, metal grade unique gloves, but protection is protection. And the last thing to do is you just want to clean the inside of these before you put the bearings in. I'm just going to clean them with my cloth. And then just, I mean, this is how most people do it. Push in. And done. Then you get your screw and just this is the one I want to use. So with this one, you don't want to actually tighten it to the bearing because you want space for it to move. So you usually want to tighten it so you can still hear that sound. So that's just still some wiggle room. And let's do it to the pink one now. So at this point, I'm just choosing these wheels based on coloring. Why do I like having different color wheels? It makes it a little bit easier for me to tell which side of the board I'm on without having to literally upend my board. If I see, when I'm skating, if I see green by my, if I see the green, I know it's at that side. If I see the, whatever, like I guess this color, I'm gonna go on this side, I'll know it's the other side. I know the skateboards, most people who don't skate don't really realize this, but skateboards are not, like, they're not symmetrical. This side is not the same as this side. This side is typically, like, it just depends on whatever skateboard you're skating, but most of the times, this side is not the same as this side. I've very rarely skated. I don't think I've ever skated a skateboard that is, like, truly symmetrical. Which makes sense, right? You're moving through air, and aerodynamic vectors aren't really symmetrical along the dorsal, frontal, and they're symmetrical along the vertical line. back as wheel test. You can hear it's a little dirty in the bearing, but it is to be expected. These are used, they're not completely new. Oh, here's the problem I have with this truck. So I might not be able to use this truck. All right, no, I can use it. So you can't tell, but this is dirt, and this dirt is making it is caked on so that I can't really put the bearing in a good manner. So I'm gonna get my flathead. I'm just gonna scrape it so that it's a little bit like. And clean off the excess. All right, let's see how this works. Yeah, it came in a little bit better. So what I'm gonna do is just scrape it a little bit more and then put some oil in it. All right, that's good. So what I want to just do is I want to get new oil on this, just like that, and then since I know that this is going to be a little bit of a tighter fit than the other ones, I'll just put some oil. So I'm already getting off some of the dirt, as you can see, and then I'll put some oil in it so that it just is a little bit smoother. This is probably just like caked on rust that I wasn't paying attention to. Also, the oil will prevent rusting better. You can still hit some of the dirt, but I would have to buy, well, I wouldn't have to buy, I would have to do a different process, and I'm not trying to do that today. This is the short version of taking care of your metal. Right? And then this is the last one. See, this one didn't give me as much trouble. Oh, it gave me a little bit of trouble, so just do the same process. That would have been bad. Okay, so now I just gotta so let's do this for this one too. Huh? And with this, we're done. Oops. Oh wait, I tightened too much. Sometimes if I feel that like these things will sometimes have dust in them or dirt in them. So what I'll do is sometimes over tighten them so that the dirt gets pushed out by the screwing motion, and then untighten them just to get them a little bit cleaner. And that's it. My board is done. The only thing I'm gonna do now is I tighten the trucks, or yeah, because these are too loose. So I'll tighten the trucks, and then I'm going to just clean the whole board one more time. So just a little bit more oil, and then I haven't done the edges yet, so I'm gonna start with the edges and then clean. Just wipe down everything and let it sit for a little bit. Give the oil a chance to get absorbed. And then that got, all right, so I used up that oil, so just add a little bit more. And in this rag, you can just I wouldn't use it for anything but a skateboard, but you can wash it to reuse it, so you don't have to throw it out after it's done. Maybe I would hand wash it. I wouldn't put it in a washing machine with other things. I would just hand wash it. And then I'm gonna oil the top of the wheel just to make it a little, like, dirt's gonna get collected, which is not that great. But it'll keep it from collecting water, which is better than dirt. You can remove dirt. Rust, way more of a pain. And bam, your skateboard is now a skateboard. I changed my parts. I got a little bit of wiggle room. I need to tighten this. But that's it. You tighten based on feel and your board is good to go.